Welcome to World Pulse News, your global gateway to major sporting developments. Tonight we bring you a story that is shaking the foundations of football worldwide, a revolutionary shift in the structure of the UEFA Champions League, player influence over the game's future, and the ripple effects that will reach every continent. At the center of this shake-up, UEFA and the European Club Association have announced a new, blockbuster match format to kick off the Champions League from the 2027-28 season, designed to draw global audiences, enhance streaming revenue, and restructure football's most popular club competition. The new format introduces a standalone opening fixture played by the reigning European champions hosting a top opponent from their group, timed for maximum global reach on the first Tuesday of the tournament. Other group stage matches will be spread across Wednesday and Thursday. UEFA projects the revamp will generate annual revenues of more than €5 billion, a 10% increase over current figures. The media rights model will shift towards longer-term, multi-market streaming and broadcast deals with global platforms such as Netflix, Amazon, Disney+ and Apple already approached. For fans, players and clubs, this signals a pivot. Club football is no longer just regional or European, it is becoming a global entertainment product. But with expansion comes controversy. Will the game lose its soul? Will smaller clubs and leagues be left behind? Football faces mounting pressure from multiple fronts: saturated domestic leagues, declining young fan bases, competition from esports and streaming, and the need for new revenue models. Big clubs and associations see the Champions League as the crown jewel, a product that must evolve or stagnate. Player power has increased dramatically, through social media, commercial rights, collective bargaining and the ability to shape league formats. In parallel, competition from outside Europe, Latin America, Asia, Africa is rising. These markets demand access and representation. The new format signals that football's center of gravity is shifting. The game is globally consumed, not just locally played. Many top clubs have welcomed the announced changes, viewing bigger opening matches as commercial opportunities, branding exercises and ticket sales boosts. However, player unions and smaller clubs have raised concerns. Some warn the changes could further marginalize less wealthy clubs, reduce parity, and widen the gap between football's haves and have-nots. Veteran players have spoken about disruption to traditional schedules, increased fatigue from extended travel, and greater emphasis on commercial considerations over sporting merit. Although this concern stems from Europe, the implications are global. Leagues in South America, Africa and Asia may find themselves marketed as feeder systems for global funneling rather than independent competitions. Player migration patterns may accelerate. Top talents may increasingly move to clubs that guarantee global exposure rather than regional success. Media rights and streaming deals will push into emerging markets. Fans in Asia, Africa and Latin America will expect more match-day access, higher production quality and localized content. Football's Global South may face structural disadvantages: fewer matches, less revenue, less voice in governing decisions. The Champions League revamp may be viewed as a defensive move against proposals for a global club competition or Super League-style tournaments. In recent years, FIFA and other confederations have floated ideas of intercontinental club tournaments to capitalize on markets in the US, China and Middle East. By increasing the weight of the Champions League opening spectacle, UEFA effectively asserts that it can compete globally without surrendering to radical breakaway formats. There has already been significant fan reaction. Traditional supporters fear the beautiful game will become the marketable game. Several supporter groups have pledged protests over away match travel costs, midweek fixtures and inflation of ticket prices. Long-term fans argue that football's essence lies in local stories, club heritage and community connection, not just global streaming peaks. Social media hashtags like #SaveTheGame and #FansFirst have trended in response to announcements. The challenge for organizers will be achieving growth while retaining authenticity. Money is a major motivator. Big clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester United, Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain already dominate global markets. Via the new format, income from streaming subscriptions, international fans, and digital engagement will be prioritized. Smaller clubs and lower-tier leagues may struggle as broadcast windows are consolidated toward fewer high-profile matches. Youth development and local league investment may suffer if resources flow toward global exhibition games instead of grassroots. Extended travel, from Europe to Asia or the Americas, means players face longer flights, more recovery time and greater fatigue. The new format starts midweek and may push domestic league games further apart, affecting scheduling integrity. Some players and coaches have warned about increased injury risk, burnout and reduced training performance. National teams may also feel impact. As players spend more energy on club obligations, international tournaments may suffer. Who controls football's future? The governing bodies, UEFA, FIFA, the clubs, the broadcasters, the players, or the fans. Smaller federations argue they are underrepresented in decisions that reshape European and global game. There are calls for more democratic governance, transparency in finances, and protections for lesser clubs. The proposed changes may increase calls for regulatory intervention, in Europe, by competition authorities, worldwide, by football governance watchdogs. While the men's game gets the spotlight, women's football continues its rapid ascent. The globalization of men's club competitions will likely influence women's game strategy, more cross-border club tournaments, increased media investment, and global audience targeting. However, the risk is that investment may still favor elite men's clubs at the expense of women's and youth programs unless governance balances the growth. Emerging markets in Africa, Asia and Latin America demand equitable access, not just token representation. Clubs and investors are visiting Africa and Asia to tap talent, build academies and expand fan bases. Sponsorship deals, merchandise and production facilities are increasingly globalized. Training camps in Dubai, preseason tours in Singapore, academies in Ghana. This trend creates both opportunities and ethical concerns. Exploitation of local talent, migration pressures, and brand over substance football. Streaming platforms are challenging traditional broadcasters. The format revision is designed to appeal to Netflix-style binge culture, big opening match spectacle, serialized group stage, global access. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality experiences, interactive fan engagement and metaverse football platforms are already being trialed. Football clubs now behave like global entertainment brands, not just sport teams. Fans in Brazil, Nigeria, India and Japan expect immersive experiences, mobile-first access and localized content. The sport must evolve accordingly. Investment from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE continues to reshape the global football map. Clubs from Saudi Pro League, Qatari Stars League and others are engaging in talent acquisition, global tours and infrastructure deals. Influence from sovereign investment funds raises questions about sports washing, competitive fairness and cultural identity. Global South federations watch closely. The new format may favor clubs with deep pockets rather than merit-based performance. The first, blockbuster match, kickoff in 2027-28, who plays, where, and how the event is marketed. Streaming and broadcast rights deals being agreed globally. Will rights go to major platforms or remain region-locked? Players' union negotiations. Will they accept calendar changes? Will they get share of new revenues? Smaller clubs' response. Will they form alliances or new competitions? Fans mobilizing. Grassroots opposition or new supporter movements? Regulation actions. Competition authorities, federations or governments intervening. For you as a football fan, expect fewer conventional weekend derbies and more midweek global spectacles. Travel costs may increase for away matches. TV subscriptions could change, and streaming may become the primary way to follow your club. Your local club may still matter, but global brand identity will gain in weight. For youth players and local academies, talent in Africa, Asia or Latin America may gain more opportunities for global exposure, but they may also face risk of being used as feeder markets rather than benefited communities. For casual fans, choose how you consume the game, the platform, the content, the experience will change. Football is evolving into high-production entertainment. The announcement of the Champions League format overhaul is more than a structural tweak, it is a watershed moment for club football's global future. Greater revenue, greater markets, bigger spectacles, but also greater risk of losing the game's roots, community spirit and competitive integrity. You're watching World Pulse News. Stay tuned for real-time updates, global reaction, behind-the-scenes analysis and what this means for the sport you love. The beautiful game is stepping onto a new stage. Will it shine or fragment? Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for all the global football news and developments. Thank you for watching.